meeting it, or is it a bar? I only go there when there's events.
Not to me. No, I've not checked Samsung's email session yet.
Can't afford to go there very often.
I think it would be on the council chamber.
No,
Yeah.
that's not hard, is it? If you were doing it last night, that's gone out there. Was not doing that in this area. Trees. Oh, hang on. Step. Oh!
Sorry,
Great, have a seat.
oh,
I think we're for it now. If you didn't turn up, we would go over to the pub.
only 30.
Just before we start, Jeff, like Colin, once we weren't at the last meeting, when I watched it, my recollection was that we implemented the new committee structure.
Yes, we had no chairman, have we? Because Councillor Lintott, it was on the agenda to do that and to have elect chairman, but Councillor Lintott said it wasn't on the agenda. The CEO agreed, so we couldn't elect the chairman, and so therefore we do need to have this planning meeting because there's so many things otherwise to go to. And so that's why I called the meeting tonight with the existing planning meeting, so we can go ahead just do our recommendations for or against this.
So we've got an abolished. This is the abolished planning committee meeting that we're holding anyway.
Okay, this end. What do you say? We don't have the meeting, then we just leave it over.
Well, the alternative would be we adopted the new committee structure, the new committee, call the new committee, and they elect their own chair at the beginning of the meeting.
But we haven't had the time. We haven't had the
We
time.
called this meeting.
I didn't call this meeting, the CEO called this meeting.
So then this meeting should go ahead until the new committee is in place.
No, I did say at the last town council meeting, I don't think you were there, that...
I've watched the video.
No, I'm just saying, we did say, and I did say to Councillor that we must have committee chairman tonight, and they totally blocked it. So, Councillor...
Can't we accept that we don't have a statutory role in planning, only an advisory role?
That's right.
No,
So
we're
in
a
actual
statutory.
fact,
We have a
could-
statutory role. We're a statutory
Well,
consultee.
We could cheerfully go ahead tonight on any basis,
Yeah.
tell them this is what we think about this planning application, and are they really going to say, oh no,
Absolutely.
we were going to take it seriously, but we're not going to take this recommendation
Sure.
seriously because you're not a properly constituted planning committee?
Yes.
Because what is it to them? They'll make up their
Any-
minds anyway.
Any resolutions we make tonight will not be lawful.
Well, they'll ignore.
Well, I don't think that's right. Why is that? This is the original planning committee, it hasn't been changed, has it?
I asked you earlier, and we adopted the new committee structure.
Yeah, but we
This
had no
committee
chairman.
doesn't exist.
We've got no chairman.
It doesn't matter if we got no chairman. We could have still called the new planning committee and we'd have elected our own chair at the beginning.
Well, that's what you said we could do now, Dan, didn't you?
No, because this isn't the new planning committee.
Why not? Why
Because there's members here that aren't here. There's
Yeah.
members on the new planning committee that aren't here.
Well,
You can't
yeah,
call.
but
You
they're-
can't.
Excuse, come on, Councillor Ward, come on.
So either this meeting goes ahead as if it was the old planning committee,
Yeah.
given that the last council did not properly go through the recommendations that were in the report
Yeah.
because of poor advice
Yeah.
and poor contributions from councillors and others. Or we say this is the new planning committee, and in fact if the list of members which was agreed at that council meeting last week is taken as read, then there are actually 5 councillors here who are members of that committee, plus John as a co-optee, and the quorum is 6. So either way you can go ahead.
Yeah.
If it's challenged, it's challenged.
It's got to be the new committee because, as Dan said, the old committee was abolished. So,
Which is this committee that's sitting now.
youth committee.
So we've got this.
Councillor Marine,
Yeah.
Councillor Heaven, Councillor Carter, Councillor Franklin, myself, that's 5, plus John makes 6 as a quorum.
Well, I won't sit in the meeting. I won't sit in the meeting as a councillor until a chair and all the formalities have been in place.
Well, if this is the new committee, we elect a chair now, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the committee,
You can
councillor
join
who are
us.
now elected chair.
You can join us, Dean. It's not, it's just to try and get some work done for the town, that's what
Yeah,
we're doing.
I agree with you, and that's what we do.
Yeah, well, come and join us, you're here already. You're part of the new committee, we want you aboard. You could come and help
I
us.
just want to get it right, because obviously planning is,
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is the new committee then, isn't it? We've got to elect a chair.
I mean, to be honest, the consultation points made by this committee are often not taken much notice of by DDC anyway. So I suggest we go ahead, and if there is a challenge, there's a challenge. But we can make our representations based on either the old committee or the new committee as we see fit.
If we proceed on that basis, surely it's possible to appoint a temporary chair just for tonight.
yeah, that's what we need to do. If this is the new planning committee, then we need to elect a chair.
I propose councillor Franklin.
You can't.
No,
The committee structure says that the mayor can't be chair.
I propose councillor.
Councillor Wiles, can I ask who's on the new committee structure that's missing?
Who's missing?
Yes.
Councillor Fox,
She's on holiday,
Councillor Sampson,
he's away.
Councillor Morehouse, and Councillor Graham.
So there's only two that could have been here that aren't here.
So if Councillor Marie is prepared to join the meeting, then it's quorum. If not, then it's in quorum. But otherwise, we can rely on the previous committee.
Okay, that's it. Nominate councillor Wiles.
Yeah, nominate councillor Wiles to chair the meeting.
Okay.
Do you second that at all?
I do.
Yeah, that's good.
Is
Right, there you go, we've got a
Heading in
chairman.
that direction.
Yeah, no problem at all. What's his
Is
item?
Councillor Marie joining?
I'll join, but I won't vote this week.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. We'll face that. Okay, thank you for attending. The agenda for tonight's meeting is first, number one, apologies for absence.
Councillor Fox.
Do we just want to note that Councillor Morehouse and Councillor Graham have not sent apologies, but they weren't invited?
Good point, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Number two, declaration of disclosable pecuniary interests and other significant interests. Anything? Number three, public right to speak. 15-minute session is set aside at this stage of the meeting to enable members of the public to speak. Written notice of the desire to exercise the right to speak and of the topic to be addressed must be given to the Chief Executive prior to 9 AM on the Friday before the meeting. Any requests to speak? No. Number four, planning applications. Application plans and papers may be viewed via the DDC website. Use of the computer in the town clerk's office is possible by arrangement. So the first one we have tonight is reference 22/00847, location 42 King Street, Sandwich CT13 9BL, proposal change of use of the dwelling, dwelling house, erection of a single-storey rear extension, replacement front window, door and rainwater goods, existing rear extension to be demolished. Any comments, Councillor Carter?
Yeah, I'd like to recommend this for approval, but to note that there was a comment on this one from the neighbour, a chap called Chris Smith, and he put a few comments on that were appertaining to the planning. And I think Dover District Council should note the comments that the Chris Smith had put through in relation to the application.
This is the ex-opticians.
Yeah, and this is the chap who lives next door, so he knows, he's got a party wall to the property, and so he's got knowledge of problems to do with drainage and guttering and leaks like that.
It's a shared hall house, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, party wall.
I mean, I'm against this on principle because it's retail to residential, and it's the loss of a retail unit within the core shopping area. So, any other comments?
No, I'd second the council because it's only a little tiny wing, a little narrow building, isn't it? And it's very awkward to be used for anything else.
Yeah.
I think, and it was a house and it was turned into a little optician's shop. So Did you change the window, doesn't it, back to the flat window?
Do we have a proposal?
I've already given one that's been seconded.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favour? Any against? I'm against. On principle. Okay.
Can you note on the minutes that I'm abstaining from all voting?
Okay, the next one is 220/00848, also 42 King Street, Sandwich, CT 139BL. Proposal single-storey rear extension, existing rear addition demolished, internal alterations include ground floor, insert partitions to form WC and utility, rear window removed and opening enlarged to form access, first floor insert partitions to form ensuite bathrooms, front east end elevation replace ground floor windows and entrance door. Any comments?
No, I think it makes it a lot better, doesn't it? Approve it.
Proposal to approve.
I'll recommend approval.
Councillor Carter, Councillor Franklin seconding. All those in favour? I think I'll have to abstain on that because I voted against it. Okay, next one is 22/00851. Location the King's Head 9 Church Street, St Mary, Sandwich, CT 139HH. Proposal erection of a single-storey rear extension, side porch, detached garage, replacement ground floor side window, increased height of front boundary wall, replacement front gate, existing garage side porch, and single-storey rear extension to be demolished. This is actually the King's Head.
Yeah.
So, any comments?
Recommend approval on this. It's one of a pair of semis. It's well set back from the road, so there shouldn't be an issue with there being a front porch extension.
Any other comments?
It's a size porch. Well, the thing is, this is the old pub next to the junior infant school,
Yeah.
isn't it? And it's got a flat roof. I know it's got a flat roof, but really, I think that flat roof was put up before. We don't really like flat roofs. We like pitch roofs.
In the conservation area?
Yeah. So I'd like to see it changed to a small pitch roof.
I'm happy to accept those recommendations.
The house on the other side of the road has recently been renovated and it's a fairly modern style, but it does, I think, have a pitch
Roof, yeah, the old
roof,
shop,
rear
yeah.
extension. So, any other comments on this? Comments? So Councillor Franklin is proposing objection based on.
Well, only the roof, garage roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to recommend it based on the amendment of the roof.
Yeah, give it this pitch roof.
Councillor Fred?
You can't change people's applications, you need to judge what's in front of you. If you feel the flat roof is not acceptable, then you should recommend refusal.
The whole lot. Oh, yeah,
I will go ahead recommendation on what we've got.
So recommendation is refusal based on that part of the
Recommendation
application
on it going
being a
ahead.
flat roof
Yeah.
in a conservation area. Is that agreed? All in favour? Yes? Okay.
Oh, sorry, wrong,
So,
as you were.
okay. The next one is 22/00852, also the King's Head 9 Church Street, St Mary's, Sandwich, CT 139HH. Proposal single-storey side porch extension, existing porch demolished, single-storey rear kitchen extension, existing utility room demolished, increase height of front boundary wall, replace side gate, minor repointing and replacement brickwork to external envelope, demolition of existing garage and replacement with new. Internal works include ground floor, enlarged door opening between living room and proposed kitchen, insert partitions and infill opening to form shower room, expose all fireplace openings. First floor, remove partitions, insert new door in existing opening, remove cupboard and insert partitions to form shower room. I think,
That was on the previous one, wasn't it?
but this doesn't include the,
No, it doesn't
Flat
include
roof.
these. No, I propose recommendation of this.
Yeah.
Because
It's a
it
demolition of existing garage and replacement with new though, doesn't it?
improve it. Sorry.
It says demolition of existing garage and replacement with new.
Yeah, but did you see the planning for the new one? It's in fitting with a conservation area. They gave all the plans, all the elevation plans.
With the flat roof though.
But if it's an existing flat roof, presumably that's.
Yeah, a lot of the times though, the council was, they didn't bother with planning
No,
years ago, did they,
I think
conservation areas?
600.
So, do we have a proposal?
I'm proposing recommendation of it.
Seconder? Councillor Evan? Any other? All those in favour? Those against?
Yeah.
I think I'll. Does that mean I have the casting vote? Okay, I'll casting vote. Next one is 22/00828. Location 12 Birch Avenue, Sandwich, CT 130AT. Proposal, erection of a single-storey front extension, existing door canopy to be removed. Councillor Carter.
Proposed recommendation.
When I looked at the plans, it looked like the canopy was going to be incorporated into the new brickwork.
So that's being removed.
What's been removed?
It's the old canopies being removed. It said so in the plan.
Well, I saw a thing that it was going to be incorporated into the brickwork.
Oh, right, okay.
So, proposing approval? Second?
Yeah, second,
Second,
yeah.
all those in favour? Against? Okay. It's approved. Next one is reference 22/00724. Location Railway Crossing Cottage, Ash Road, Sandwich, CT 139JB. Proposal, erection of 2 semi-detached dwellings with associated parking, existing dwelling and outbuildings to be demolished. This is the demolition of a bungalow. My thoughts on this, the plans weren't very good, and having a WC directly off a dining room seems to be a bit strange. Any comments?
Yeah, the consultee comments, in particular the one from Southern Water. I'm going to make a recommendation in a minute, Councillor Wiles, but basically they'd put in that they were going to use septic tanks, and Southern Water said that it preferred that they didn't use septic tanks, that they connect to the mains drainage. Plus also Kent Highways raised a large number of issues which I can't go into because they're quite technical at this time. But my recommendation is that this planning application is sent back and that they take note of the consultee comments and then come back to this chamber when they've taken up the issues from Kent Highways and Southern Water. That's my recommendation.
Subject to new application.
Indeed.
Revised. That's a proposal.
That's the proposal.
Thank you, Councillor Wiles. Just to point out to the committee that this application has gone through the process. It's been accepted and validated by Dover District Council. They will not submit a new application just because we ask. So I think it would be best for this committee to come to a determination about the application in front of them.
I think the best course is to say if you do approve it, that we approve it subject to the consultancy comments being implemented by the applicant.
I don't think they can, the way it's designed, is it?
No, it's
They can't do the KCC thing.
In that
They
case,
haven't got the turning areas, have they? Spaces
No,
to
no.
do.
in that case, I'd recommend refusal.
Okay, so we have a proposal for refusal.
Yeah,
Second,
refuse.
second. Councillor Franklin. Any other comments? All those in favour? Okay, so that's refused. Number 7, reference 22/00776, location 8 Upper Strand Street, Sandwich, CT 139EE. Proposal, replacement of 3 number rear elevation windows, introducing double glazing. The applicant here is known to all of us, so I'm not sure if we can even discuss this.
No, it looks
Yeah,
okay.
Well, why is that then? Why can't we discuss it?
We've got to declare an interest.
Yeah,
Declare an interest. The applicant is a fellow councillor.
So what? We've
So-
voted through those things before.
Don't
Joe
think that-
Trussler put in a planning
Okay,
application.
fine.
Different
We
times.
voted on that.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
related to anybody
Yeah,
that
no.
has put this application in.
Just in terms of declaring interests, fellow councillors may be minded to declare a voluntary admission of other interest, which puts on record their connections to the applicant, but doesn't remove their ability to discuss and pass a resolution this evening.
Okay. So you're happy to discuss it and to...
I am. I've got no relationship with the person whatsoever.
Just a councillor, isn't it?
It's just a councillor like anybody else. If Dan put an application in, I'll just discuss it the same.
Is there an implication with what Councillor Friend says that we may all be councillors, but some councillors may be closer to that councillor? For example, I am in a coalition between my party and the movement of which he's a part. Therefore, am I more of just another councillor?
I'd be minded to say, in terms of public perception, would it be unreasonable for members of the public to believe you may vote favourably on an application by someone you have a close personal friendship with and working relationship?
Have you got close personal?
I like to think so, but
Right, okay.
but yeah, that makes me a different type of councillor to, for example, Councillor Friend. Do I have to declare that?
I mean, it's up for individual councillors to make their own determination whether they need to disclose an interest. If an application came to this council and it was from another councillor, then no matter the relationship, the fact that we are colleagues working on the same authority, I would make a declaration of a voluntary admission of other interest. It doesn't stop me from entering into the debate, it doesn't stop me from voting, but it just acknowledges to the public that there is a connection there.
Then I would say that I declare that I am in a coalition with that particular councillor.
So if we as a committee are happy to note that this application is from a councillor, but we're going to try and deal with it as we would any other application, and make a resolution accordingly. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Proceed on that basis. So any comments on this application?
I was just going to say that the windows are very good. They're a like-for-like replacement, and as it's a Grade 2 listed place, I was very impressed by the detail of the windows that are being replaced.
You can't be seen from
They're not visible from the
No,
street.
no,
So Councillor Carter's recommending approval. Do we have a second?
yeah.
Councillor Frankton. And all those in favour? Anyone against? So that's carried. Thank you for that. Next one is number 7, reference 22/00934, location Leon, Montague Road, Discovery Park, Sandwich, no postcode. Proposal, display of various signage including internally and externally illuminated signs, roof lettering, totem, freestanding height restriction signs, digital menu boards, graphic and window vinyls.
I think it's the height of the totem which causes the problem, isn't it?
8 metres,
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose
which should be seen from the town. Because the previous one for the petrol station's only 6.3 or something,
yeah.
so it's a bit high, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's on the bank.
The problem is it's the people that are living like Ainsley Court and along the back of Strand Street. If it's illuminated, if it ruins the view from their properties, or it's
8 metres is what, 26 feet?
Yeah.
The proposed elevation is lower. Yeah, the proposed elevation of the signage at Leon is lower than the elevation at the petrol station. So it won't be higher. It's just that it's lower lying area.
Can you remind me what decision was made with the petrol station? It was a year or so ago.
It was approved, yeah. But they didn't have the roof lettering as well.
By this committee. Okay, so do we have a proposal on this?
I think it's just a standard thing, isn't it, really? I don't know.
That's what we want to accept.
It's behind Starbucks, isn't it?
Mm.
It's not in front, it's not right on the road, it's behind, isn't it?
It's
It's public
commercial.
hotel.
It's a commercial building,
Behind
commercial
it.
area.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's, no, it's not relevant, but Leon is selling
Healthy.
healthy food.
Yeah.
rather than some of the junk we have locally. So, any proposal, Faye?
Yeah, I propose it.
Propose approval?
Yeah.
Seconder?
It's on a commercial estate there, isn't it? So-
Councillor Heaven is seconding.
Second.
All those in favour?
Yeah.
Against? Councillor Carter, are you
I'm abstaining.
abstaining? Thank you. The next one is reference, number 9, reference 22/00713, location 46 High Street, Sandwich, CT 13 9EG. Proposal, removal of paint from brickwork to front elevation. It sounded very sensible to me.
Yeah, I fully recommend this. A lot of properties in the town, as my learned colleague to my right would say, weren't originally painted. They were originally just bare brick, and over the years people painted them all sorts of different colours and things. And this property, I've cycled past it loads of times, and they've never repainted it when it's all been coming off, which made it look tatty. So it's better if it's all off or if it's all on. So if they take it all off, then I'd thoroughly recommend that this goes ahead.
It does look a mess. Is that a proposal then?
That's a
Proposal,
proposal.
seconder? Councillor Heaven, all those in favour? It's unanimous. Thank you. Number 10, reference 22/00813, location 121 St Bart's Road, Sandwich, CT 13 0AW. Proposal, erection of a single storey rear extension and rear dormer. Existing outbuilding and chimney stack to be removed.
Yeah, that's all right to me.
Yeah, I recommend
Recommend
approval.
approval.
It's, it doesn't overlook it. The dormer on the back doesn't directly overlook any other property. It's got an exceptionally long garden, and the only issue that was raised was about flood risks. That's been addressed. So I thoroughly recommend it.
So that's seconded. All those in favour? It's unanimous. Number 11 is reference 22/00798, location land west of Ramsgate Road, Sandwich, CT 139ND. Proposal, erection of 34 general industrial units and 7 offices with loop access road, associated parking and landscaping.
Yeah.
Councillor Carter?
Yeah, this would tidy up the area which was birds, the generator people. It's been vacant for years and it's become dirty, and previously it did have like caravan recycling business there, which we had to get moved on. So this will tidy it up and it make it look really good, and it have like a massive economic interest to the town, which would be a great improvement there. The only amendment I would say is that it did say on here KCC flood risk must comply with the KCC flood risk recommendations, plus also the tree warden's report said about the preparation before and after the site has been developed. So can I have those 2 items added in as well? So that's KCC flood risk and tree warden's recommendations to be adopted.
The crime reduction officers made comments.
Oh yeah.
As well. So you're proposing approval?
Approved. Yeah.
Yeah,
Councillor Franklin? All those in favour? It's unanimous. Thank you. The next one is 12, reference 22/00806, location 7 Strand Street, Sandwich, CT 13 9DZ. Proposal, insert partition and form new opening to first floor to form ensuite and office. Alterations to staircase to include installation of glass guard. Insert 2 wall-mounted lights to front elevation.
I think this work's already been carried out, because I walked along there last night, and a lot of the people I was with commented on this wall light, and they're completely out of character with that with those buildings, because we don't allow in the Conservation Act internally illuminated lights. And they have said there is other longer, they may probably be put up without planning permission, so I think we've got to stick with the thing that we don't have it internally illuminated lamp holders or even menu boards and things like that.
So it's kind of retrospective on it.
Yeah, because they're already there. They're very modern as well, these lights.
So you're recommending
But the
refusal?
rest of it, apart from the light, if you got to
Yeah.
say you gave the whole lot.
Yeah, the lights were actually added. If you go onto the planning application, there was an email to say that the lights were an addition to the work being carried out. So, I mean,
It was a butcher shop, wasn't it?
I put, yeah, that's right, it was,
So
yeah.
they completely out of character then, right?
Okay, so you're recommending refusal?
Yeah.
Yeah, second?
Yeah.
Seconding
I'm
one?
not, well, there's a lot of works, isn't there? It's not just the lights.
Well, you've got to say we can't do bit by bit, they can, we've got to do it en bloc.
I won't vote.
Councillor-
We can surely refuse it on the basis of the lights, but make clear to Dover District Council that it is the lights.
The lights.
And that if the applicant wishes to remove the lights
Yeah,
and make a fresh application, we might not regard that unfavourably. So yes, I'd suggest we refuse, but point out why, and it's easily.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very important, that's along the side of medieval buildings in England, isn't it? And to have suddenly a pair of modern lights stuck on the front of one of the buildings, I think it's horrible.
Yeah. So you're recommending refusal,
For the lights.
but with the commentary that it's the lights that
It's
are
the
the
lights.
reason for refusal. Okay. Seconded? Seconding,
Oh.
Councillor Heaven seconded. All those in favour of refusal? Based on that?
abstain.
Abstain. Next one is number 13, reference 22/01003. Location, Great Polders Equestrian Centre, Great Polders Farm, Polders Road, Sandwich. Proposal certificate of lawfulness existing for the continued use of welfare unit as dwelling house.
Yeah, approved.
Approved.
Yeah, I would recommend that.
Just before the committee makes a determination, this has been before the council before,
Yeah,
it was refused, the applicant appealed against that decision, and the National Inspectorate throughout their appeal dismissed it. So they have requested that it become a dwelling house before. This council and Dover District Council refused it, they appealed, and the National Planning Inspectorate upheld the appeal that it should not be granted a certificate of lawfulness.
So we should be consistent.
If
Yeah,
councillors
gotta be
want to stick
consistent,
with
yeah.
it,
if you go down there, it's in use, isn't it?
It is in use, that's what I thought,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is
People
in
are living
use.
there, so I thought
So
it
they're
was in
actually
use.
living there currently, they have been for a couple of years,
That's
isn't it?
right, yeah.
Do we know the basis of why it was refused so firmly?
Still tractor shed, it'll be like that nice.
It was granted planning permission some time ago to be used as a holiday chalet.
I mean, they've got one of them very expensive horses, but they do need to live on the side, don't they?
I think that one of the objections was that if you've been down there, keep it as a single track
Yes.
lane, and I think the people that live at the top end, just off of Woodensborough Road, were upset about the traffic that would be going backwards and forwards down there. But the traffic, I have spoken to somebody in Polders Gardens, and they said it isn't as bad as what they thought it was going to be. So.
The farm was busy, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
farm, they had
farm.
all the lorries going up and down collecting the produce.
Yeah, and Mr Smith has got his land accesses onto there as
That's
well.
right,
So.
yeah.
I mean, it's ironic that dozens of new houses are being put up on the other side of Woodensborough Road, all over the open countryside, but one building that's already
Very
there,
tractor shed.
that's already been used for a dwelling, is refused. But I mean, we have to be consistent.
Mm.
Any comments?
No, I mean it's from looking at the appeal documentation, which you can see on the website. There seems to be a blatant disregard for the planning process. They've tried to use it as a dwelling house. It's been refused. They've tried to get around those rules by using some 10-year occupancy rules, some agricultural conditions, and it's still been refused. So yeah,
What was it as a welfare unit? What was actually
it
stated?
doesn't.
Yeah, I remember this from when it came out before. The welfare unit was for the staff that are working there. So
Yeah,
they've got
this is
staff working there. So welfare is toilets and somewhere to sit and have your lunch and
So
wash your hands.
Is it arranged internally in a suitable way as a dwelling house?
I've not been inside the property, I've only seen it, because you can go along to the bridge, can't you? I think Councillor Friend's been down there to the bridge.
So do we wish to be consistent with previous decisions? Refuse it? I'll recommend that we do so and make that proposal.
I'll second that proposal.
All those in favour?
There's been for a new house there, won't they?
So,
Abstain.
abstain. So we're refusing that application.
Councillor, so we're refusing on the basis of disregard
For-
for the process.
For the planning process. And the fact that the planning inspector has previously rejected the appeal. Okay, number 5, do I have to read all these out, or do we just, I do? Planning applications to note. To note planning applications that do not require permission or fall outside of Sandwich. First is reference 22/00961, location 46 High Street, Sandwich CT 139EG. Proposal removal of paint from brickwork to front elevation. We've just made a decision on that.
Note the report.
Yeah.
That's what it's asking us for, so I'm proposing that we note it.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
All agreed? Thank you. Next one is reference 210/01034, location Royal St George's Golf Club, Guildford Road, Sandwich Bay, Sandwich. Proposal park conversion to unisex WC, installation of solar panels, vent pipe, insertion of door to replace existing boarded window to side elevation. Committee is asked to note that this falls within Worth parish. However, Sandwich Town Council may comment if committee feels necessary. Committee is further asked to note that this will not appear on Sandwich Town Council's consultee comments.
I'd say note this and leave it to Worth Parish Council. They will be reviewing it.
Proposal seconded.
Yeah.
All those in favour?
Yeah.
So that's approved. Number 3, reference 21/01811, location 2 Johns Green, Sandwich, CT 13 ODE. Proposal erection of a detached bungalow, cycle shed, recycle store, associated parking and turning area. Committee is asked to note this is just for not for consultation, just a notification of DDC Planning Committee.
I propose that we note this because I believe this is on the agenda for tomorrow, tomorrow's planning meeting, so all we can do is note it.
DDC. Okay. Is that seconded? Approved. All those in favour? Number 4, reference 21/00208, location Unit G, Sandwich Industrial Estate, Ramsgate Road, Sandwich. Proposal change of use from salvage yard to B8 scaffolding yard, erection of scaffolding structures and associated hard-standing retrospective. Committee is asked to note this is not for consultation, just a notification of DDC Planning Committee. Sense of date after one is any comments?
Well, I propose that we just note it, but obviously it'd be nice to give our comments that we're not in favour of this planning application at all.
We did that previously.
Yeah, previously.
Yes.
That's before, so.
Okay, all those in favour? Okay. Next one is licensing, number 6. To consider licensing notices and issues received from Dover District Council. Log 0007516, location Market Inn, 7 Cattle Market, Sandwich, Kent, CT 139AE. Subject request to place furniture on the Guildhall Square. Any comments?
Well, we've already got tables and chairs on the Guildhall, haven't we? Sandwich shop and other places, so I recommend approval myself. It did say in the thing that there would be like table service only, so people aren't allowed to just wander across the street with a pint of beer. They have to order it and then it's brought over in a proper manner, hopefully. So I think we should encourage it. So, and the Fleur de Lis, Fleur de Lis of course have their tables and chairs out in Delft Street as well. So
When it's closed.
it just seems to be a good thing to do, really, improve the economy.
Councillor Hay.
Yeah, I'm happy to approve it, but also to point out that this does raise the issue of safety on that road, because that road there isn't like Delft Street with just the occasional vehicle. It's a bus route and through the town, and it does raise the issue that may eventually come up of changing the status of the roads through the town to a more pedestrian friendly nature, because people will have to go from the tables to the toilets, and the staff will be going backwards and forwards, but in the interests of commerce, approved.
I'm presuming the staff are willing to take the risk of crossing the road with drinks trays.
Employees often have to take a risk.
Councillor Friend.
Yeah, this application is welcomed in terms of improving the cafe culture of Sandwich, but it is slightly premature. They're basing their application on plans that very shortly will be demonstrably different, and the highways layout will obviously play a big part of the licensing committee at DDC's deliberations as to whether it's suitable. So this committee may be minded to support the proposal in principle, but ask the chief executive to liaise with the project manager for the DDC forecourt work and the community team and myself and Sue to maybe hold this application until the development is done and how that ties in with the bigger picture of cafe culture on the square.
Isn't the where they want to situate the tables, isn't that going to be directly behind where the new bus shop is going to be?
Well.
So they won't be able to
is
observe it from
yeah.
the pub, will they? When people are sitting in front of it or standing in front of it at the bus stop.
Yeah, potentially.
So-
As the plans are drawn out, it's very close to where the pull-in would be for the bus, but obviously
Yeah.
with the reconfigured
I
forecourt,
think it's come too early.
it's
So.
going to be like doubling
Well, they
out.
haven't started yet.
If the work
No,
is,
September.
if the work starts in September, then they've got barely any time
Yeah.
to implement this anyway. I mean, I was slightly puzzled that the road was closed at the weekend, the Delft Street, and yet the 3 or 4 pubs along there didn't have tables and chairs out. It's a related issue, so you wonder what the actual demand is for this.
Is it something? Is it?
I'm
So I'll
in
with the
favour
meal.
of it.
I don't know. I don't think it's keeping this now.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Wild. I have been in discussion with this application has been going for a number of years, long before my time as councillor. I had a conversation with the former town clerk about 3 years ago regarding this, and an application was made, and it was stopped for some reason. I can't remember what it was for. This is old. It was safety, I believe. Yeah, so it's an old plan, but it's for the. I've spoken to the proprietors of the pub. It's an old plan, but it's for the new square. So I agree with what Councillor Friend is saying, that I think it should be held. I won't be voting, but I think it should be held until the new square's in place where it can be done a bit more better. Yes, we welcome the cafe culture in the town. We welcome obviously the Fleur de Lis have their tables and chairs and have those closed every weekend now for Delft Street. So yeah, I believe that we should encourage this, but just hold it until the new square's been done.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I remember it getting turned down before because of safety. So it's just round the corner of that bend there, and if people walking across the road there, and there'd have to be plastic glasses, wouldn't they? We'd be able to take proper glasses over there, I shouldn't imagine. And so I think that they're like 6 months too early with it.
I mean, just on that point as well, it's chicken and egg as well, because it's like planning. I could apply for planning permission on Councillor Franklin's house. Without his permission, I can't do anything to his house. They may get licensing permission to have tables and chairs there, but without the permission of Sandwich Town Council to actually put them there, it doesn't mean anything.
So do we have a proposal? The proposal is to agree in principle,
I had a proposal
just a discussion with.
I had a proposal for it to go ahead, and then I believe Councillor Friend had an amendment to that.
Yeah, maybe not an amendment, maybe a suggestion to the committee.
Not a member of the committee. Advice.
But I mean, we don't know. We have not been given the exact start date of the works. Councillor Friend said that just recently in an email, that there's no exact start date for the works on the forecourt. So it could be September, it could be October. So I would, if it was me, I would let them go ahead. The sandwich shop have their tables and chairs out every day, and they will do until the forecourt is sectioned off and changed. And we allow cafe culture everywhere else.
I think it's a trial period.
Yeah,
You know,
quite
2
possibly.
months or something like that.
Quite possibly, yeah. Until the works begin.
When will the actual licensing committee take place?
Well, it's when they next sit, isn't it?
Maybe end of September. It may be, well, if this committee is minded to recommend approval, I would suggest some stringent conditions about Sandwich Town Council retaining control over what days and times. We don't want to get into a situation where we agree in principle, which I think we should, and then they get granted a licence to do it, and then all of a sudden there's tables and chairs there on a Thursday morning that can't be moved and the market can't then
They've got to
get on the
consult
board.
with Sandwich Town Council, yeah, so the recommendation would they've got to be consult with Sandwich Town Council,
Yeah.
even if they get the licence.
The market
It's in the
doesn't
commission
open
to the
until
council.
12 o'clock, does it?
As Councillor Friend said, any of us can apply for licences or planning. We can apply for a licence to have a party in Councillor Friend's front garden.
It's not difficult.
Again, I agree with what Councillor Coles is saying. I apply for licence every time there's an event on town so alcohol can be sold and drunk on the square. So maybe they need to look at that as well for themselves. The original plan was a few years ago is that they were only do it during the summer months. So it's lighter, it's not dark, it's not in the winter, people can't see it, etc., etc. So that was the other recommendation for the original plan. But yeah, I'm not voting, but I recommend it goes ahead on those bases.
The only problem I foresee is that the licensing department are extremely strict about plans and where tables and chairs are and enforcement of that. Now, the plans demonstrate where they will be in relation to the current configuration, and once the new forecourt is in place, it may be very inconvenient where these are placed.
So what is the proposal we
So the proposal is to go ahead with it as it is.
support in principle,
Support in
subject to
principle with the proviso that Sandwich Town Council was consulted,
and the project officer
indeed,
before any
yeah,
tables and chairs are placed
Yeah.
on the square.
indeed.
Is that seconded? Is that Councillor
Sanfo?
all those in favour of that? So it's support in principle subject to close consultation with STC and the project officer before any furniture is placed on the square. Okay, that's approved. Thank you. Number 7, enforcement. To consider enforcement notices and issues received from Dover District Council, reference ENF/20/00285, location 10 New Street, Sandwich, Kent, CT13 9AB, subject unauthorised advertisement. Any comments on this?
The only thing I'll say, it's a shame it took so long for the enforcement to come to a decision over the matter, because you know, as you can see by the thing, this was something that was reported in 2020, so that was 2 years ago, and they've only just come up with a decision that the advertising that is there, they believe is suitable for a conservation area, but it just sort of beggars belief that if we had a national company come into this lovely medieval town and they decided to put something up that was sort of purple and yellow and black or something, that we would have to suffer that for several years before any action was taken. So
Okay,
it just seems, so it's
noted, but
noted, but with
concern
disbelief
at
at the
the
time
delay.
it's taken to have any action over it. So
that's our consultative comment to BBC. Okay. Does that agree?
yeah.
Number 8, decisions. To note that Dover District Council planning decisions have been emailed to the committee as and when received.
Caroline does those.
Yeah, noted. Yeah, thank you, Caroline. Number 9, date and time of next meeting, Wednesday, 7th of September 22 at 6:30 p.m. Don't say anything. Finish?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's nice to see the new committee.
Well done.